YouTube. YouTube. What it do? It's your boy Little Petty checking in with you guys with another stock market episode. Alright, you guys, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about the top stocks that I'm watching today for the week coming up of the 4th of July weekend. So the week going into after the 4th of July, we're going to talk about the top stocks that I'm looking at, how I plan to make $1,000 in the stock market, and we're also going to go over the top stocks. So we are live. This is a live video for you guys. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to break down what I'm looking at. If anybody's in here watching, if you want to ask a couple questions, we can talk, but let's talk about the stock market and let's get into it. So, but first things first, what we're doing is I'm posting my all my trades on Twitter. So make sure you guys go follow my Twitter. Links in the description box. Also, if you want to join my Discord chat where we have a few good traders in here and we're looking to grow a community, drop a comment below saying, Little Petty, I want to join your Discord chat, and I will think about it. So, you guys all came here to check out the stocks and the top stocks that I'm looking at for this week coming up. So let's go ahead and jump into the TD Ameritrade account, and we're going to show you guys what we are looking at. So let's go ahead and go to the weekly chart so we can actually get a clear view of what's going on in the overall stock market. Now, we got the SP 500, the S&P 500. Right now, we just had basically an inside bar candle last week. We did break above, but we didn't close above last week's candle. So we're still in a tightening range. We've been in this same range for the past 3 weeks. So a move is coming on its way. The one thing I'm looking at right now that I like about this chart is we are on a clear uptrend. It doesn't look like we're going to be pulling back too hard. If we do pull back to 288, that's a spot that I like to actually, strike very hard on calls. But I like this tightening range of this on this 1226, which you can see right here. So we're above the moving averages, and we are holding this trend line that I have down here from March 30th. Now, let's go ahead and jump over into the daily chart and kind of see what happened last week. So we have a resistance up here at 315, and we have a gap to fill up here around 318. So there's some room up to the upside, and then if we get above there, then we have this area right here, which is another gap. That's actually a gap. So there's a gap up here to 332. So we're going to be looking out for that on the S&P 500. Now, if you go to the NASDAQ, we can see the NASDAQ is actually already at an all-time high. So as long as we're going to hold this level right here, this 237, we should be good. And you can see it bounced off of it a few days ago. Literally bounced right off of it. So that was the old top. So this is showing a very clear sign that we're going to keep going up. We do have this M-shaped form pattern that's curving. So I could see a pullback on possibly Monday, another squeeze, but we're going to see what's going on in the stock market. But overall, the markets are bullish. Now let's go ahead and look at the IWM. And now you can see we did get the bearish cross, so we have a little bit of momentum. This looks more like the S&P 500. Now, we're not nowhere near close to this topping peak of 153. So just look out. We're going to be watching the markets closely, and then we're also going to be keeping our eyes on the VIX. So the VIX right here, you can see that we're on this downwards trend. So, and then let's go ahead and look at the weekly chart on the Qs real quick so you can see. So boom, this looks there's nothing bearish about this chart. Now, if you guys are the people that are trying to time the top, we don't do that. That's gambling. We actually trade with the trend. So that is the way that you want to trade in the stock market. Now let's go ahead and jump into the famous Tastyworks account, because this is where everything basically goes down. Now let me look real quick to see if anybody is in here. Nothing, no comments, cool. And the stream is decent, not the best, but cool. All right. So
trade in the
now,
stock market. Now let's go ahead and jump into.
all right. So now let's go ahead and jump into the famous Tasty Works account. So the stocks that we're looking at this week coming up, we're looking at Tesla stock. We're going to be looking at Spotify, Roku, Nio, and we have a few others, but we're going to break them all down. So the famous stock that we've been making our most money on has been Tesla stock. So Tesla stock, we're going to go to the 1 day, the 3 month 1 day, so we can get a clear picture of what we see going on in the chart. Now, first things first, we do have this massive gap that we're gonna have to fill down here at 1136. So I'm gonna be watching out for that. Now, this stock has basically just been on an uptrend. Now, if we come to the weekly chart, we can see it's on basically a clear breakout uptrend. So I'm expecting a pullback, but I'm not betting on a pullback. I'm basically saying I'm still gonna sell the puts below certain areas. So depending on if we fill this gap tomorrow, then the contracts that I'm in right now will be down. But if we do reverse by Friday, then this trade will basically go good. Now let's talk about what trade I'm in. I'm in the 1200s and the 1190s. Now, when I set this trade up, the options, there was only $10 whiffs because this stock had just basically ran up. Nobody was willing to sell the 1195s at the time when the stock was up at that price. So over the weekend, they're going to open up these strikes $5 widths. So that's going to give you an opportunity to actually sell a credit spread with the tighter with less risk, because when you sell $10 strikes widths, you have to put up more capital. So it's like I'm selling two contracts. So, but the max gain on this is $458 on Tesla. We have one contract. So the way this works is if Tesla stays above 1200 by Friday and it closes above 1200, we will be able to close out this trade for 100% profit. Now, my plan with Tesla is basically, if we do get a gap up, I'll probably close those out first thing in the morning on Monday. But if we get a gap down, then I'll probably more than likely hold them out. Now, when I put on trades, I put on trades that I'm willing to lose. So that is the whole key when you are taking on these trades. You only want to trade what you are fully 100% willing to lose. Now, so that is the setup that we have for Tesla. If Tesla does pull back and it sets up a topping formation type of setup, then we might sell calls. But I don't really like to sell calls in a bullish setup. But if it does set a clear reversal, then we will probably execute on selling calls. So that's the first stock. The second stock that we're going to be watching is Twilio. Now, we don't have a play on Twilio right now. Twilio has been on a good uptrend. We rode this wave up for the past 2 weeks. We locked in some gains. Now, right here, we're on an all-time high. So I'm basically just watching for maybe a reversal type candle or a pullback. But we're just watching the price action on Twilio. So as of right now, we don't have a trade set up in Twilio, but we're going to be watching the intraday chart and seeing how it moves. Now, I've been watching this for a while, so I know how this moves. It moves big up and it comes down big too. So if we can get a pullback anywhere to 221, 228, or if we have another breakout, then expect this stock to go up to 240, 250. So that's price action on Twilio. Everything about this is bullish. Nothing is bearish about this. Now, let's talk about the other trade, that how I'm going to plan to make the $1,000. So we have the Tesla trade, and we have a Spotify trade. So those are the two trades that we already have set up to possibly make us a potential $1,000 of profit in this small account. So let's go ahead and open this up, and as you guys can see, we have a total of 4 contracts. We sold 2 different spreads, and they both expire on Friday. So we had set up a play, the 270s, last week, and we ended up rolling them over. So the credit that I'm going to be able to receive is like $100 less, because I ended up basically taking $100 loss by rolling the contracts over, even though the contracts expired worthless. So I was just playing it safe. So let's go ahead and jump into the chart so I can explain this to you. All right, so it was right here. So last week we sold the 270s out. We sold them basically out of the money, saying that Spotify was going to continue above 270. What happened was the stock had dropped down all the way down to 253, and this was on Wednesday. So on Wednesday I said I'm just going to roll the contracts over to the next week. Now that was smart because I would have probably took like a $250 loss. So what I did, I rolled the contracts over. I paid a little bit of extra money to roll the contracts over. But on the flip side, the trade would have worked out, so I would have collected my premium. But now I just have to wait an extra week because I rolled the contracts over to next week. And then when the price was down at this level, I ended up selling another put credit spread. So let's jump into the chart. And as you guys can see, I have the 270s, the 267s that I rolled over from last week. I'll show you guys the rollover. All right, so not Twilio, Spot. There we go. All right, so last week on the 26th, we executed 2 of these contracts for a credit of 133, and then we ended up rolling them over for actually $70. So we rolled them over for about a total of $70 plus commissions. So we paid a debit of 36, so that's coming out of this profit. Boom, boom, and then we ended up setting up 2 credits for 2 credit spreads for this week coming up, and we got a credit of $300 for 2 of these strikes that we sold. So the strikes that we did sell for the $300 potential profit were the 260. What day did I sell these on? Okay, so I sold those on the 1st, which was on a Wednesday, and I sold these actually out of the money. I remember that's how I got a nice size credit. So I was very bullish on the play when it probably broke out to this range right here when it was at 260. Yep. So I sold these, are actually at 1230. Okay, so I sold these into the close on that day. Boom. And then as you can see, the stock is running up. So what I like about this stock is at an all-time high. The price action has been easy to read. It had this nice little setup of a bull flag, and it's breaking out. So I'm expecting this to possibly continue up to about 280 before we do see some resistance, and hopefully we can lock these contracts up and get majority of our profit. So that's basically how we are planning to make the $1,000 profit this week, as long as Tesla stock stays above 1200 by Friday, and as long as Spotify stock stays above 270, we'll collect the $100, the $200, and then for the 265 we'll collect the $300. So if you add those up, that's basically a total of $1,000, and our risk was anywhere from it was about $1,000. So we're risking basically 1,000 for 1,000. And you guys can see we still have buying power. We have our cash balance basically set. We pulled money out of the market, so the small account is doing amazing. Now let's talk about a few of the other stocks that we're going to be looking at for the day trading small scalp trades. So the top stocks that we will be looking at, and possibly credit spreads. So we'll be looking at Twilio. We will be looking at BYND. BYND has been tightening up. It had a nice pullback, but as you can see, it's still making higher lows. So this would have been a good pivot to sell off of. I think I remember looking at that time too, but we didn't take action. So possibly if we come back down here in this range, and if it holds this, then it's more than likely going to break out above there. So that's the levels that I'm seeing right here. It's going to make a move either to the upside, downside, so I could set some alerts and be watching out for that. Now the other stock we're watching is Boeing. Boeing has made that massive move. It's been very volatile. So we're going to go to the 1 hour chart. As you guys can see, very volatile, ups and downs. This is a trader's dream. Nice gap up, reversal, and it's weakening out. Looks like it's setting up for a bear flag to go down a little bit lower. It's been holding these levels. Buyers have been showing up a little bit, but we are at the lower range of this candle. So if you did want to buy this and stop out at 180, that'd be nice, even to stop out at 178. Now the other stock that we got NIO. So we are bullish on NIO. I've been bullish on NIO. I don't know why I didn't execute on this, but we finally executed on this. I put a small amount of money in here. I put like $400 in here to ride up the calls if the stock is going to keep going up. So the stock has been bullish. We've been having these bull flags breaking out. So one bull flag, another dip, buy, boom. So we're going to be watching this for the break of 10. And then if you go to the all-time high, so we got this resistance right here. This is going to be a resistance. And then we have the all-time high resistance up here. So as you can see, if we can get above here, then we have room to set every dollar would be a resistance. So we're watching out for NIO. We have calls that expire. We have the $10 calls that expire this week. We have the 9.5s that expire in 12 days and the 11 that expire in 12 days. So this is going to be a quick play. I'll be looking to get out of this $10 call possibly. I'll be looking to, if I can get majority of my money back, I'll do that. And yeah, so we're watching that closely. Not too close, but we got our eyes on NIO for the week. We already went over Spotify. And we're going to be looking over Roku. So Roku is another volatile stock where you can, play the ups and downs. Right now, it looks like it's setting up a topping candle. So we're going to be watching this closely. A break below 125, then I would expect it to come down to about 120. And then if it continues, if it bases out, even if it gaps up, then expect this levels up here to be tested. Go to the 1 year and you can see the resistance levels. Now Netflix, this is another stock we're going to be watching. This one has been good. This one set up a topping candle right here. So if we have another red day, then possibly we can stop anywhere from 465 to 462, just depending on what's going on with the market. We're also going to be watching Facebook. Facebook is basically around all-time highs. I'm expecting this to go up. And also, so we're gonna this was a good lesson within myself because I sold my calls a little bit early. So now that this account has a little bit of money in it, we're gonna try to hold one of our contracts to let those contracts work. So that's what I'm gonna be working on this week on my trading. And then Workhorse. I like Workhorse. I'm just gonna be watching Workhorse only because I don't want to lose. I don't really want to play it. If I play it, I'm going to play it very small, maybe $100, $200. But I don't want to put the money in this where I just want to kind of watch the price action just to see how this plays out. Now, the stock is very bullish, so I'm really just going to be watching it. And I feel this stock does have potential, but it's hard for me to understand the price action in this chart, so I just want to watch it a little bit. But I mean, it looks pretty simple, ups and downs, and then possibly another pop up. So we'll keep our eye out on this. I like it if it's above the VWAP for a day trade. I know the options are the options, they have very high IV, so as long as the spreads are tight, possibly, but I'm not too interested. Possibly shares might even be better. So now I'm gonna go check, see if we have any questions. No questions. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna stay here for possibly a few more minutes. If anybody is here and wants to have any questions, drop a comment right here and I will get to you. Now we have we're coming up on our 100 subscriber. I want to do a giveaway, possibly, but I'm thinking maybe out of my 1,000, that's why I could do, like a $200 giveaway, because I don't think $100 for 100, maybe, I don't know. So, but let me go ahead and check here. All right, so we don't have no questions. All right, you guys. So I am gonna check out of this one, and I'm gonna do a few more live videos for you guys. I got this new computer, so my computer's working a little bit better. I'm still trying to get all this stuff set up, but make sure you guys go follow my Twitter And if you want to get in the Discord, let me know. And Little Petty is